We got our feet together, and we are going to bring them into maximum flexion of hips and knees until our lumbar spine starts to round. Once it starts to round, we're going to stop. Then we want to create a lamniscat. Big toe up, flatten the medial arch, lateral rotation to tibia, medial rotation to femur. Keep those knees nice and tucked in. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to be your own therapist by demonstrating the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction, and more specifically, I'm going to be teaching you how to correct thoracic scoliosis. Before I get on with the exercises, I want to do a quick recap of what exactly thoracic scoliosis is and why exactly you should care. And in order to do that, I'm going to need the help of my good friend, Johnny Bones. So Johnny, get over here and show your non-scoliotic spine to the camera. Scoliosis is when you get a lateral flexion of the trunk, and thoracic scoliosis is when you're going to get a lateral flexion of the thoracic trunk. And there are many ways in which it can present, but two of the most common ways are going to be a C-shaped curve and a reverse C. A C-shaped curve, as the name implies, is when the spine looks like a C and it's translated to the left, and then a reverse C is when it is shaped like a reverse C and the spine is going to be translated to the right. With regard to scoliosis, there's going to be a convex side and a concave side. The convex side is going to be the side where the muscles are going to be very, very long and taut, and then the concave side is going to be the side where the muscles are going to be very, very short and tight. So on a C-shaped scoliosis, the convex side is going to be the muscles on the left side, and the concave side are going to be the muscles on the right side. And if you don't address it, it can lead to a whole host of issues like neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, shoulder pain. So you would want to address it immediately. And one of the ways in which we could address it would be to do some strengthening exercises for the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk, specifically on the convex side of the scoliosis. We did those a couple days ago, and I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. But in that video, we ended up covering the strengthening exercises for the convex side of the longissimus muscle, the iliocostalis, the transversal spinalis group, the external oblique, and also the internal oblique. Once you've done those exercises, a terrific complement to those exercises would be to do some myofascial stretching exercises for the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk, specifically on the concave side of the scoliosis. And we did those a couple days ago as well. I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. Let's say you've done the strengthening exercises and you've done the myofascial stretching exercises and you're still not seeing the benefits that you want. Well, a third problem that may arise is you may have nerve dysfunction to the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk. And with regard to nerve dysfunction, we want to take a look at what nerves are going to be innervated to the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk. So with regard to the longissimus is going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical, the thoracic, and the lumbar spinal nerves. The iliocostalis, that is going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical, thoracic, and the upper lumbar spinal nerves. Then the transversal spinalis group, that is going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical and thoracic spinal nerves. Then, when we take a look at the internal and external obliques, the internal and external obliques are going to be innervated by the intercostal nerves, and more specifically, the ventral rami of the T7, T8, T9, T10, T11, T12, and L1 nerve roots. So those are going to be the areas that we're focusing on today, and specifically, we're going to be doing ELDOAs to work on that area. The reason the ELDOAs are so great is because the whole point of an ELDOA is to create space within a joint. So if the reason for your nerve dysfunction is that you have compression to a nerve root, then doing an ELDOA is going to be a terrific way to mitigate that, because by creating space, we can improve the nerve function, and by improving the nerve function, the nerve is going to be able to send the proper signal to the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk, and then once those muscles activate properly, we're going to be able to get a lot more blood flow and oxygen into that area. So today, what we're going to be doing is the T8, T9 ELDOA, T7, T8 ELDOA, the T6, T7 ELDOA, the T2, T3 ELDOA, and the T1, T2 ELDOA. But without further ado, here are the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. The first ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be the T8, T9 ELDOA. For the T8, T9, we want to start in a seated position, and we want our heels at the level of the ischial tuberosity. So make a fist width if you don't know where your ischial tuberosities are. Roughly the width of one fist width is how far your heel should be. From this position, we want to go into maximum flexion of hips and knees until our lumbar spine starts to round. As soon as your lumbar spine starts to round, you've gone too far, you want to stop right there. Then we want to create a lamniscat in the lower body. What we're going to do is create maximum tension. So we want big toe up. We're going to flatten the medial arch. We want to go into lateral rotation of tibia, medial rotation of femur. So we're going to keep those knees nice and tucked in. We got retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown of head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're pressing up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, keeping those knees together, and that was the T8, T9 ELDOA. Next, the T7, T8 ELDOA. The second ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be the T7, T8 ELDOA. For the T7, T8 ELDOA, it's essentially the exact same thing. We got our feet together, and we are going to bring them into maximum flexion of hips and knees until our lumbar spine starts to round. Once it starts to round, we're going to stop. Then we want to create a lemniscate. Big toe up, flatten the medial arch, lateral rotation to tibia, medial rotation to femur. Keep those knees nice and tucked in. At the pelvis, retroversion to pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear, and then we're going to lower our arms to the level of the glenohumeral angle. If you don't know where the glenohumeral angle is, depending on everybody's morphology, it's going to be anywhere from 90 to 135 degrees. For the average person, when your arms are fully extended and the palms are at the level of your forehead or slightly higher, that's going to be the level of your glenohumeral angle. So we're keeping the chin tucked in, pushing up with the crown of the head, away with the palms, keeping those knees tucked in, and this is the T7, T8 ELDOA. Next, the third ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be the T6, T7 ELDOA. For the T6, T7 ELDOA, again, we're in a seated position, and for this one, we're going to cross our legs. So we're going to go ahead. Once our legs are crossed, we're going to go into dorsiflexion of ankles and eversion of ankles. We want retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbows. Get those fingertips together until they're touching, but very lightly. You don't want to press into them. You just want to apply gentle pressure. Then, from here, you want to raise the arms. So you're going to flex them to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're going up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, pushing down with the knees, and this is the T6, T7 ELDOA. Next, the fourth ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be the T2, T3 ELDOA. For the T2, T3, we're going to be in a quadruped position, so hands and knees. You want to go ahead and you want your hips to be stacked directly above your knees. Then from here, you're going to walk out with your palms. Walk out as far as you can. And then you want to go into maximum flexion of the shoulders. With the sternum, you want to press the sternum down into the ground. You're going to keep that chin tucked in. So we got retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head away, eyes looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. We're depressing the sternum down toward the ground. At the elbows, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders. We're pressing away with the palms, away with the coccyx, away with the crown of the head. And this is the T2, T3 ELDOA. And then last, the fifth and final ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be the T1, T2 ELDOA. For the T1, T2 ELDOA, we're going to be in a supine position, so you're laying down on your back, and for this one right over here, what we want to do is we're going to flex the hips and knees until our sacrum lifts up off the ground, and we want to relax the abdominal cavity. We're going to go into dorsiflexion of ankle by pointing the toes toward our head, eversion of ankle by pointing the soles of our feet away from each other. We're going to keep those knees nice and close, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head away, eyes looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders. Then we're going to flex the shoulders to the level of coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. Then what we want to do is we're pressing away with the palms, and at the cervical spine, we want to go into slight flexion. So what we want to do is we want to raise our head 1 millimeter off the ground. So just enough that you can slide a piece of paper, no more than that. But this is the T1, T2 ELDOA. And there you have it. Those were the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. If you have thoracic scoliosis, or if you have issues with regard to neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, or shoulder pain, go ahead and give those exercises a try. And then if you have given them a try, go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought. In terms of the actual programming for the routine, the first thing you want to do is the strengthening exercises. And for the strengthening exercises, we're going to do 3 sets of 50 repetitions. And the reason we're going so high with the repetitions is because we're trying to elicit a postural change. Whenever we're trying to elicit a postural change, one of the most important things is going to be accumulating time under tension. And if we do the typical 8 to 12 bodybuilding repetition rep range, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So 3 sets of 50 repetitions, and that's 5-0 is what you want to do. And specifically, we're going to do 3 sets of 50 repetitions on the convex side. The reason we're doing 3 sets on the convex side is because those muscles are going to be very, very long and taut. And then on the concave side, we don't want to do as many sets. We're going to do anywhere from 1 to 2 sets for the concave side. The reason we're still working on the concave side is even because the muscles are going to be shortened, a lot of times they're short, but they're still going to be very, very weak, and we don't want to neglect them. So you're going to do 3 sets on the convex side and then 1 set on the concave side. And then once you've done the strengthening exercises, then you're going to do the myofascial stretching exercises. For the myofascial stretching, you want to do 3 sets of a 30-second hold. And once again, we want to do more work on the concave side. This one, it's going to be the opposite. So we want to do 3 sets on the concave side, so the shortened side to lengthen everything. And then on the convex side, we want to do 1 set. And once again, we can do them every single day because once again, we're trying to elicit a postural change. So if we do these stretches just once a week or once a month, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. And then once you've done that, the last thing that you want to do is the ELDOA exercises. For the ELDOAs, these ones are going to be bilaterally, which means you only need to do 1 set of each of them, and you're not doing right to left. You're only doing 1 side total. So it's going to be 1 set of a 60-second hold. And for each of the ELDOA postures, what you want to do is 60 seconds from the time you get into the final posture, not 60 seconds from the time that you start. But go ahead and give those exercises a try, and then go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section and let me know what you guys thought of all of the different exercises and the program, and let me know how it's working for you. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.